Grenada is a small island nation. It is located in the Caribbean Sea. Grenada is known as the Isle of Spice because it grows many spices. These include nutmeg, cinnamon and cloves. The country has a rich history. Its economy has changed a lot over time. Grenada's story is one of resilience. It has faced many challenges. These include colonialism, natural disasters and global economic shocks. Through it all, the people of Grenada have worked hard. They have adapted to change. Today, Grenada is a developing nation. It has a lot to offer the world. Before Europeans arrived, Grenada was inhabited by the Carib and Arawak peoples. They lived in harmony with nature. They were skilled farmers and fishermen. The Caribs were known for their seafaring abilities and fierce independence. The Arawaks were known for their agriculture and peaceful nature. These indigenous communities had a subsistence economy. This means they produced just enough food and goods to survive. They traded amongst themselves and with neighboring islands. They did not have large-scale agriculture or industry. Their way of life was sustainable and in balance with the environment. The arrival of Europeans in the 15th century changed Grenada forever. The French took control of the island in the 17th century. They established large sugar plantations. These plantations relied on the forced labor of enslaved Africans. This marked the beginning of a dark period in Grenada's history. The plantation economy transformed Grenada. It introduced a system of exploitation and inequality. The wealth generated from sugar benefited the French colonists. It came at the expense of the enslaved Africans. They endured unimaginable cruelty and hardship. This period had a lasting impact on Grenada's social and economic fabric. The abolition of slavery in the 19th century brought significant changes. Indentured laborers from India arrived to work on the plantations. However, the transition was not smooth. The sugar industry declined. It faced competition from other countries. Grenada's economy diversified somewhat. Cocoa and nutmeg emerged as important crops. These spices found a market in Europe and beyond. However, the colonial system still controlled trade. This limited the economic opportunities for the people of Grenada. They remained largely dependent on agriculture. They faced challenges like fluctuating prices and limited access to land ownership. Section 5, a century of ups and downs from farms to world wars. The early 20th century was a time of mixed fortunes for Grenada. The island, known for its lush landscapes and vibrant culture, faced numerous challenges and opportunities during this period. Agriculture, remained the backbone of the economy. The fertile soil and favorable climate made it ideal for growing crops like cocoa, nutmeg and bananas, which were the mainstays of Grenada's agricultural output. However, global events had a significant impact. The island was not isolated from the world's economic and political upheavals. The Great Depression of the 1930s led to a sharp drop in demand for Grenadian exports. This caused widespread hardship. Farmers and laborers faced severe economic challenges as prices for their goods plummeted. During World War II, Grenada's economy was affected by the disruption of trade routes. The war created shortages and made it difficult to export goods, further straining the island's economy. The island also played a role in the war effort. Grenadians contributed to the Allied cause, with many joining the armed forces and others supporting the war effort from home. It served as a refueling station for Allied ships. This strategic position brought some economic activity to the island as ships docked and refueled in Grenadian ports. This brought some economic activity. Local businesses saw a temporary boost as they provided goods and services to the military personnel and ships passing through. However, the overall impact of the war was negative. The disruption of trade and the focus on the war effort meant that many of the island's economic activities were put on hold or severely limited. It highlighted Grenada's vulnerability as a small island nation dependent on external factors. The events of the early 20th century underscored the need for economic diversification and resilience in the face of global challenges. Section 6, Independence, charting a new course. Grenada gained independence from Britain in 1974. This was a momentous occasion. It marked the beginning of a new era. The country could now control its own destiny. However, independence also brought new challenges. Grenada had to build its own institutions and navigate the complexities of the global economy. The government focused on developing the economy. It invested in education, healthcare, and infrastructure. There was a push to diversify the economy. Tourism was identified as a potential growth sector. The transition from a colonial economy to a more independent one was not easy. However, Grenada was determined to chart its own course. Section 7 Decades of Change from Revolution to Recovery. The decades following independence were marked by significant political and economic upheaval. Grenada, a small island nation in the Caribbean, faced numerous challenges as it navigated its newfound sovereignty. The political landscape was particularly volatile, with various factions vying for power and influence. The 1970s saw a brief period of socialist experimentation. This era was characterized by ambitious social programs and efforts to redistribute wealth. The government, led by the New Jewel movement, sought to transform Grenada into a socialist state, drawing inspiration from Marxist-Leninist ideologies. This ended with a US-led invasion in 1983. The intervention was prompted by concerns over the growing influence of communism in the region and the potential threat it posed to American interests. The invasion resulted in the overthrow of the socialist government and the restoration of a more pro-Western administration. The 1980s and 1990s were characterized by a return to democracy and a focus on economic recovery. Tourism grew rapidly. The government prioritized rebuilding the nation's economy, with a particular emphasis on developing the tourism sector. This period saw significant investments in infrastructure, including the construction of new hotels and resorts. It became a major source of revenue. The pristine beaches, vibrant culture, and warm climate attracted visitors from around the world, providing a much-needed boost to the local economy. Tourism became the cornerstone of Grenada's economic strategy, helping to create jobs and stimulate growth. The 2000s brought new challenges. Natural disasters, particularly hurricanes, posed significant threats to the island's stability and development. These powerful storms caused extensive damage to infrastructure, homes, and businesses, setting back years of progress. A series of devastating hurricanes caused widespread damage. The recovery efforts required substantial resources and international assistance. The resilience of the Grenadian people was tested as they worked tirelessly to rebuild their communities and restore normalcy. The global financial crisis of 2008 also had a negative impact on the economy. Grenada's GDP contracted sharply. The downturn affected key sectors, including tourism and agriculture, leading to increased unemployment and financial instability. The country faced mounting debt and unemployment. The government had to implement austerity measures and seek assistance from international financial institutions to stabilize the economy. These measures, while necessary, were often unpopular and led to social unrest. The 2010s were a period of stabilization and structural adjustment. The government introduced a series of reforms aimed at improving fiscal discipline, enhancing public sector efficiency, and promoting sustainable development. These efforts were crucial in laying the groundwork for future growth. The government implemented reforms to address fiscal imbalances and promote sustainable growth. These included measures to diversify the economy, reduce dependency on tourism, and encourage investment in other sectors such as agriculture and manufacturing. The 2020s began with the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic. The global health crisis had far-reaching implications for Grenada, disrupting daily life and economic activities. The tourism sector in particular was hit hard as travel restrictions and lockdowns led to a sharp decline in visitor numbers. This had a devastating impact on tourism. The economy contracted sharply, businesses struggled to stay afloat, and many workers faced layoffs or reduced hours. The government had to implement emergency measures to support affected industries and provide relief to those in need. However, Grenada has shown resilience. The spirit of the Grenadian people shone through as communities came together to support one another. Local initiatives and grassroots efforts played a crucial role in the recovery process, highlighting the strength and solidarity of the nation. It is recovering from the pandemic. The government has been proactive in implementing policies to stimulate economic activity and support businesses. Efforts to revive the tourism sector are underway, with a focus on promoting Grenada as a safe and attractive destination. The government is implementing policies to support businesses and workers. These include financial aid packages, tax relief measures, and initiatives to encourage entrepreneurship. The goal is to create a more resilient and diversified economy that can withstand future shocks. The future of Grenada's economy remains uncertain. While there are positive signs of recovery, challenges persist. The global economic environment is still volatile, and the island must navigate these uncertainties carefully to ensure sustainable growth. However, the country has a track record of overcoming challenges. Grenada's history is a testament to its resilience and determination. From political upheavals to natural disasters, the island has faced numerous trials and emerged stronger each time. This enduring spirit gives hope for a brighter future. Section 8. Facing the future, challenges and opportunities. Despite its progress, Grenada faces significant challenges. The island nation, known for its picturesque landscapes and vibrant culture, is at a crossroads. The country is highly vulnerable to natural disasters. Hurricanes in particular pose a severe threat, often leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Hurricanes and other extreme weather events can cause significant damage. The impact on infrastructure, homes and livelihoods can be devastating. Climate change is exacerbating these risks. Rising sea levels and coastal erosion threaten the very land that Grenadians call home. Grenada is also grappling with high levels of debt. This financial burden restricts the government's ability to invest in critical infrastructure and social services. This limits the government's ability to invest in essential services. Healthcare, education, and public infrastructure suffer as a result. Inequality is another pressing issue. The gap between the wealthy and the poor continues to widen, creating social tensions and economic disparities. While tourism has created jobs, the benefits have not been evenly distributed. Many locals feel left out of the economic gains brought by the industry. Many people still live in poverty. Despite the influx of tourists, a significant portion of the population struggles to make ends meet. The country is also heavily reliant on imports. This dependency makes Grenada vulnerable to external economic shocks and supply chain disruptions. This makes it vulnerable to fluctuations in global commodity prices. Any significant changes can have a ripple effect on the local economy. Addressing these challenges will require a multifaceted approach. Community engagement, government action, and international support are all crucial. This includes investing in disaster preparedness, promoting sustainable tourism, and diversifying the economy. By taking these steps, Grenada can build a more resilient and equitable future for all its citizens. Section 9. Conclusion. The road ahead. Grenada's economic journey has been marked by both triumphs and tribulations. From its pre-colonial roots to its present-day challenges, the country has shown remarkable resilience. The people of Grenada have a strong work ethic and a deep connection to their land. These qualities will be essential as the country navigates the uncertainties of the 21st century. Grenada's future depends on its ability to adapt to change. This includes embracing innovation, promoting sustainability, and investing in its people. By harnessing its strengths and addressing its challenges, Grenada can build a more prosperous and equitable future for all its citizens.